Are we going to do 3 seconds of staring?
I guess so, yeah. Greetings, hello, greetings one and all story lovers. Yes, this is the Story Spark Mythical Creatures deck, and we thought we'd do a little video. My name is Ken, this is Sally.
Hello.
Hello. And we are here, basically we're going to be talking about the Mythical Creatures Story Spark deck. Sally, what are they?
Story Spark cards.
What do they call them?
Story.
That's a good start. The Story Spark Cards Mythical Creatures deck.
That's better.
Or SSC MCD for short.
Oh, that'll catch on.
Snappy. No, we just thought we'd do a little video because we've been promoting this, as you probably gathered. There is a Kickstarter that's launching on the 1st of August, and I will leave a link in the description so you can actually click on the link and that will click through. I don't know how many times I can say click. Click through onto the Kickstarter Notify Me page, so you can click the button. It's all about the clicks. Click through onto the page, click the button that says Notify Me when project is launched.
Right.
Or just write it in your diary. Do you still have a diary? Do you still have a paper diary?
No, I don't have any. I don't have a calendar.
Ooh.
I don't have any way of
So you got a
remembering
wall
stuff.
No, that would explain a lot. I've still got an old school, paper diary. Because I never trusted the digital.
I've got a work one.
Oh, you got a work one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so what are the Story Spark cards, Sally?
Well, they're lovely cards with pictures on them and writing
Yeah.
on the other side.
By then, that's all you
Yeah.
need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. That is pretty much it. But they are mythical creatures. So we've got creatures. There's 50 in the deck. They are banshee. We've got the basilisk, but they are basically. You're right. What are you doing?
I didn't want to pause you in full flow.
Well, we agreed that you would be pausing me. She's got a cold,
I know.
and nobody wants to see her blow her nose on screen. So you know,
Well, you went full flow. I thought
subtly go like this.
I wasn't going to blow my nose. I just needed to wipe.
I think I got away with it. I don't think anyone noticed. Should we pause for you to wipe your nose?
No, I've done it now.
You've done it. You did it off screen.
Now
Right.
you've just drawn attention to it. Thanks.
We have 50 mythical creatures. I myself did research into 50 of them, wrote a description. Sally very kindly proofread them, and Rich Nen, here he is here. Don't touch him. He very kindly has drawn 50 of these. I gave him the description. He has done his own interpretation of these cards, and they are fantastic. Now you might notice that some of them are in colour, some of them are in black and white. Why is that?
He ran out of felt tip pens.
He ran out of ink. Absolutely. I did warn him. I said, look, Rich, there's 50 of them. You're going to get through a lot of felt tips.
Exactly.
He didn't
pressed
listen.
too hard.
Yeah, I reckon he did. He didn't listen. He didn't listen. No, that's obviously not the reason, although that's very plausible though. It is because I really love black and white illustrations, especially fantasy illustrations. It reminds me of the old Fighting Fantasy books. Did you play any of those?
No.
Of course you didn't. But I'm sure people out there
I think
did.
I had awareness of them.
You had awareness. Did you do
No.
the other one? The
No.
Choose Your Own Adventure one?
My brother did that.
Okay.
Had a few choose your own adventures.
Yeah, and I
Still
think
got a couple.
they were pure branching narrative stories, so it's basically you choose how the story unfolds. Well, in the Fighting Fantasy ones, they had these beautiful black and white illustrations, so I've always loved
I
those.
think we did have a few.
Yeah, you had a few?
Yeah.
And you rolled dice, and there was actually combat in those as well. Hence why I thought, we'll do a lovely black and white deck. So there's going to be 3 decks available. It's like Spanish Inquisition. 1 deck, 3 decks available. The base Kickstarter deck is going to be black and white. Then there's the colour. I've lost my colour ones. Then we've got colour. That's if we get enough backers and we unlock that. That's a stretch goal. Go on.
What if people are watching in black and white?
Oh, then the blue ball is next to the pink ball. If you're watching in black and white, then unfortunately that is going to still be black and white.
Yeah, it's just a bit. I'll just tell you, it's a
more
bit
colourful.
greeny.
It's more colourful. Yeah, that's
If you're
greeny.
colourblind,
That's green.
it's the same colour as what you see as grass, or what you see grass as.
And if they're blind,
Then my apologies.
then
Why have you not done a
braille set.
braille
I should have done a
set.
braille set because there is a description on the back. You could get someone else to read it out to you.
Yeah, but you could do embossed pictures so they can feel.
Do you reckon there is something like that?
I guess it depends on how blind you are in terms of like if you've always been blind, then you can't say, well, remember what this looks like, and just it's a picture of a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that if they've been blind from birth. You just say it.
You'd have to. Well, yeah, you'd have to do raised. I think we're going down a blind alley here as well. To be honest, these aren't specifically for blind people or colourblind people. Well, if you're colourblind, then the black and white deck is perfect for you.
Yes.
And if you like colouring in, then the black and white deck is perfect for you. These are A4 printouts, so they won't be this size. This is just a demonstration. They are going to be this size, and this is like a mock-up box that I did. And this...
So it'll be better.
It'll be better than this, yes, clearly, because this was made from a cornflakes packet.
Oh, yes. Blue Peter would be proud.
Oh, yes, I'm sure he would be. God rest his soul. I met Blue Peter once. Down the pub.
A Blue Peter?
No, Blue Peter. Mr. Blue Peter.
Mr. Blue Peter.
Yeah. He's a real person.
Right.
They're going to be these size. These are someone else's decks, so I can't really show them off because of copyright reasons, I guess. But that's the size. They're going to be double poker playing cards, or normal playing cards. They're double the size of that.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you not know that?
No.
Yeah, that's half. That's it.
Oh, okay.
So although you won't know how big my hands are. But anyway, so that's going to be the size, and they are to help spark imagination and get over writer's block. You suffer from writer's block, don't you?
All the time. In fact, genuinely all the time, because I never. I'm not.
You're not
I'm
a
not very
writer.
good at coming up with ideas. So.
All right. Well, this is definitely the deck for you then. Maybe we could put that to the test later.
I think you'd be. I don't think I'd be a great advert.
Well, the reason why I thought of this idea, and it's not necessarily a new idea. You have a question, yes?
No, I need to blow.
You need to blow your nose, right? We're just going to take a short commercial break.
Okay.
You all good there? Yeah, I'm sure they enjoyed the sniffing. The reason why I came up with this is because I am a writer, a storyteller, somewhat, and I have played Dungeons and Dragons in the past as well. And if you are in the business, or if you enjoy creating stories, creating worlds, I've said that already, then you need ideas from somewhere, and I get my ideas from all over the place. Sometimes it is from books, sometimes it's just going for a lovely walk, sometimes it's drinking, sometimes it's whatever.
How many mythical creatures do you see on your walks?
Well, loads. Tell you, especially after I've been to the pub. On the way home after the pub, that's genuinely when I see them. No, but do you remember when we were out walking actually, and we were just walking down a lane, a country lane. I think we'd just come back from the pub, I can't remember. And you claimed to have seen a rabbit.
Mouse.
A mouse. Was it a mouse? Oh, it was a mouse.
I saw a rabbit.
Yeah.
A mouse.
And you
And
saw
a rabbit.
And a rabbit. But
this
the
was
mouse.
the mouse.
Yeah, and I didn't see it, and I was, oh, where? And we where? There on the stair. Yeah. Where on the stair? I didn't see it, and we sort of crept a bit closer, and you were going, look there. And suddenly I had this idea. Do you need to blow your nose again?
It's all right.
Honestly.
The thing is, this all just keeps happening, so it's better if I just duck out.
Just go on then, duck it. So I had this idea, and because we were sort of creeping up on this mouse, I just had this idea for a short story. I write a short story every month for my patrons, and it was just these two sort of hobos, these two homeless people, who were sort of maybe slightly magical, or they had some sort of magical powers or whatever, but they were starving, hungry, and they were sort of chasing a rabbit or a mouse, and I had just had that idea right there and then I developed it, and it wasn't a mouse that they were chasing. I did then look through and this is absolutely genuine. I looked through and thought, well, what could they be chasing that's a little bit more fantasy based? And I chose the Warpetinger. That's how you pronounce it.
I don't know. You didn't do pronunciation guides on it.
No, that's true.
As I suggested.
Maybe I should. Oh yeah. Well, there's not a lot of room on there. So I quickly looked through my deck and went, oh, what is the Warpetinger? Right, it's a rabbit base. So with unusual looks, the Warpetinger is a shy and nervous forest creature. Their small mammalian body is a combination of various parts from different woodland beasts. Those, do you need the bloody nose again? Those fortunate to see one claim they have wings, antlers and sharp fangs and would have mistaken it for a rabbit or squirrel, if not for the horns upon its head. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool? You've got these two characters, they've been walking for a long time, they're homeless, they just travel the fantasy land, living off stolen goods and, you know, the kindness from villagers. And they're trying to catch, and they're starving. They're trying to catch this Warpetinger, and that was the beginning of the story. And it reminded me then, as I was writing it, of the John Steinbeck short story of Mice and Men. So I then called it what do I call it?
Magic and Hobbledehoys.
That's the one, of Magic and Hobbledehoys, because that's what they were. They were a couple of hobbledehoys.
Yes.
Yeah. So there you go. So that is how just going on a walk. I'll have you very know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. You can get ideas by walking along the street.
Okay.
Yeah. So never doubt what I say ever. Yeah. But obviously sometimes you go for a walk and there's nothing, and ideas just seem to evaporate, or you might even be mid-story. And you think, you know, what creature do I need? A creature. What creature should I have? You know, so that they encounter, and then obviously you're going to have to go and do loads of research. That's when I started to do. Research every time I needed a creature. I'd start to do research, and then I realised I was kind of going back to the same websites or looking in the same books. And I did start to make lists of all different things, not just mythical creatures. And I did come up with 50 lists. I started to write everything down. Just
50 lists.
Well, not 50 lists. Sorry, 50 lists that had 50. It ended up some of them had at least 50 on there.
Yeah, I was surprised at how many mythical creatures there are.
But this is.
I know, and that's not all of them.
It's just scratching the surface. There's loads that I have no idea how to pronounce.
I wouldn't scratch their surface.
No.
They might bite you.
Yeah, they might do, especially.
Ones with teeth.
True.
Or you might just get a powerful
kick in the face. What? This is going wrong. Yeah, but I was surprised that so. But then what happened? Because I had my list, I go, okay, that's fine. Okay, devil bird. Yep, great. They're going to meet a devil bird. But then I go, oh yeah, I've forgotten the details of when I looked it up and what a devil bird is. Do you need to blow your nose again? Okay, I'll show you the list. Look, you've got that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. That was nice. I'll have to edit that out.
Please do.
Put some sort of comical sound over it.
It's not what I want to be doing.
No, I know, bless. You're doing this under duress.
Can I just say, I am enthusiastic about these cards, but you just have to imagine that I'm 300% more enthusiastic than I appear.
Yes.
Because inside I'm very enthusiastic.
And inside I'm dying every moment of this.
But outside,
I'm very enthusiastic.
My face is just going, I want to go
bless.
to bed.
You just want to sleep, don't you? And I'm forcing you to do this.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, bless. Not long to go. So, but I thought, and I kept forgetting exactly all the details of it. That's when I started to think, do you know what? Wouldn't it be brilliant if you had a deck of cards that had the information on them, a beautiful illustration, and then the description that just is enough to carry on with your writing, to stop the, because sometimes you don't want to be interrupted, you just want to keep the writing flow. So I thought you could either, and if they're cards, if you want randomness, you could shuffle the cards, obviously, and then you just pick one and go, the boller, brilliant. The boller, what's the boller all about? And then you'd read it and then go, oh yeah, I've been inspired by that, or that's not right, you know, that wouldn't be quite right for my story. And hence how these came about.
And I like the way they've got not just a description, but quite like sometimes it's like, well, to defeat it you need to do this, or this is a bit of their backstory, so actually you could include that in a story as well. Like it gives you some ideas for what could happen.
Absolutely.
To said creature or whatever.
Yeah, no, and I've done that now. I have written. Where's the list again? So since starting developing these cards, I have written a story about a kraken, which I hadn't really planned a kraken cropping up in my story. I've written a story about a spriggan. I've written a story about what else? The Wendigo, the White Hart. That was also as well. Not the pub. There's the White Hart. Yeah, the one where they go hunting and they see this white hart. The Bodach. Yeah, anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you remember that one? There we go. Chenu. So, for example, these ones.
And they're not always the main characters, are they? They're kind of bit parts. Like occasional.
Well, a good example
incidents.
is the Chenu. So, I've just finished writing a children's novel, sent it off for a competition, still waiting to hear back. Fingers crossed. And I needed a distraction. My characters needed to have something it needed a distraction. Plus, I needed to have a cave-in. Spoilers. So I needed the characters to sort of be split up. That was it, and they were underground. So I thought, hang on, I remember the Chenu, and it says here. It says these colossal stone giants are clumsy and unable to master the use of weapons such as bow and arrow, knife or spear. The hills for miles around resonate with thunderous noise when a battle between Chenus breaks out, an occurrence that happens frequently. They uproot large and sturdy trees and use clubs as clubs and fling enormous boulders at each other. As soon as I read that, I went, oh yes, of course. So what I can have is down this tunnel where my characters are going and they're forging on trying to get to their destination. How about from a side tunnel, these Chenus are fighting each other, and then they collapse the tunnel with half the group on one side and half the group on the other side, because I needed to split the group.
Good idea.
And so it came in perfect for that. Perfectly.
Good.
So what? And so reading them, have you got a favourite one? Do you have a favourite? I've sprung that on
you
you.
have. Let me have a look at the list again.
Well, while you do that, shall I tell you about my favourite one?
Yes, please.
So that'll buy you some time. My favourite one, as you probably has guessed, now they're all out of sequence now, so I won't be able to get this quickly. But my one is the Ink Pot Monkey. Do you know what the Ink Pot Monkey is? You do.
Oh, I do.
You do. There's a little Ink Pot Monkey. Oh. Little Ink Pot Monkey. Yes, Little Ink Pot Monkey. Now, I love this one. Not very well known. I only found this in one reference book. And a little bit online. So not a lot is known about this one, but I've got various reference monster books and creature books, mythical creatures, that I've collected over the years, second-hand. I love going to a second-hand bookshop, and then you find these old lovely books. Ink Pot Monkey, I love monkeys anyway, but this one, if you're a writer, map maker, and illustrator, and you start writing or drawing, and then you have a break, especially if you go to bed, then what happens is your Ink Pot Monkey loves drinking ink, as you can tell. He's had a big gulp. And then, magically, he will finish your story or your map off for you by the time you come downstairs and it's morning.
It's very helpful.
Extremely helpful. So I've written one short story where the Ink Pot Monkey was the main character, plus I now have got another short story where he was a side character, but again sort of a main character, and then he featured also my Ink Pot Monkey in the novel that I wrote called Of Magic and Monkeys. So you could say I'm a little bit obsessed. Have you picked your favourite one?
I don't think I can narrow it down to one.
Oh.
I do like the Gollum.
The Golem. Let's see if we can find the Golem. The Golem. Yes.
Because that's the kind of... I fit that there's biblical overtones or undertones or tones.
Wombling free. To
it, because it's kind of breathing life into something of clay, isn't it?
Yes, it is actually from the Jewish, I don't know what you call it, culture.
Yeah, yes.
But what I've done, although these are, I've not made any of these up. So any that appear to reference real life situations, thank you, you found it. I've taken that out. So some of them are from the Bible. So the behemoth is from the Bible, but I've not mentioned that because I sort of like to think that if you're creating it and using it for your own world, you don't really, the Bible might not be created in your world. Like my world of Edra, Christianity isn't a religion, so you wouldn't have the Bible, so you wouldn't necessarily reference the Bible, if that makes sense. So I've removed anything relating it to that, but yet you can still use the behemoth if you want. Equally, the Golem.
It's not a looker, I'll grant you that. I wouldn't say it's my favourite looking one.
No, as in you wouldn't go on a date with him.
Well,
if you had money.
Yeah, well,
be great.
Look, it says
maybe he's a good dancer.
Yeah, that they're used for useful domestic servant.
Oh,
ideal dates material.
You're just after him to do the dishes,
yeah,
aren't you?
absolutely. I'd love that.
You might drop a few though. He's got big bulky hands.
Well,
But yes, so the actual story behind this is, and I only found this out by going to Prague, because Gollum is obviously the name of a character in Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a Gollum is basically it was created by a Jewish rabbi, made it out of clay, and then you brought it to life. You bring it to life by writing its name, and then you put it either in its heart, but on here, insert it under the Gollum's tongue. So I think there's a few sort of variants on where you put this bit of paper, and then you bring it to life. And the reason why they did it was they wanted to defend Prague from outsiders. So this was, like 1762 or 1582 or whatever. But unfortunately, it's sort of got a mind of its own, so it can go a bit haywire. And the only way to then kill it is to remove the bit of paper, but you have to write death. You have to change it to death and put death in it, and then it stops. Okay. Now, I don't know, I can't remember if you kill it completely or if you just change it out. Maybe you put your instructions in, like do the hoovering.
Yeah. Wash
the car, you put that in.
Yeah. So you don't know if you could bring it back to life once you've killed it.
Yes, I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember what in the actual proper mythology if that can happen. But I think, as far as I can remember, it's not a one-off. I think you can create other. So I've done it as though these art can be created. So you could have a wizard, for example, or a witch, or whoever, or even an apprentice sorcerer who dabbles in this and reads about the Golem in an old text and says, I know, I'll do that, and then goes out, and then it all goes wrong, of course, So yeah, Golem, that's good. And Rich, who is the artist, Rich Nairn, here he is again. Don't pick his favourite one is the talking tree. Look at the talking tree. There we go. Gorgeous. Oh. So it's so.
Look how I feel.
I know, exactly. Look at that. Oh. Not long to go now. So yeah, but I love this. And again, I was doing research. I made a short story of this where I thought, because they're very wise apparently. Sometimes a person who seeks advice or assistance will receive the talking tree's wisdom. Occasionally their voice they hear is a spirit inhabiting the tree who may bestow a spell as well as information upon the seeker. So that's a great, even there you can just go, oh, imagine that, yeah, so who's this person inside? Maybe that can be discovered halfway through the story. In my one, I left that bit out, and it was just not just a talking tree, they're amazing. A talking tree, there wasn't a spirit inside, but they were very wise, and I used it as part of little fairies would actually go and get advice from this talking tree. It was a known talking tree, you know, where they lived in their woods, and it was all about getting advice from this tree. I won't do any spoilers, but yeah. So again, I was inspired by that. That's a lovely one. So
Nice.
what I thought we'd do though is let's see if we can spark your imagination, your cold-filled head, and we'll just do a random thing.
Oh, can't you do it?
Well, let's find out then.
Can't
Well,
you do the thinking bit?
You want me to do the thinking bit?
Yes, please.
Do you want to do the picking?
I think it'd come across as more impressive.
Yeah, but you're not very good at this, so see if you can chip in then. Come on, I want to spark your imagination, even if you're ill and you're just about to die. This could be your last wish. Will Sally's imagination be sparked? Will she fall asleep again? And just what has caught our storyteller's attention? Is it a thunderbird? Is it a harpy? Is it a dragon? Find out in part 2 of Story Spark Cards in Action. Visit talesfromedra.com.